Hi everybody, welcome to A La Carte Cooking Happy Hour. We are doing something really awesome today. We are making budget-friendly pesto. Homemade, budget-friendly pesto. We are gonna use our trusty Vitamix. I do love making it in the Vitamix. You could make it by hand, but that would be a lot of work. And I actually don't know how you would make it by hand. So just use your Vitamix or some sort of food processor. Ooh, I love it. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm gonna bring this closer to my microphone, but the almonds that I toasted are still crackling. Let's see. Okay, now we can't hear it.
It's not crackling.
So, what makes this budget friendly? We are using almonds instead of pine nuts. Now, a traditional pesto uses basil. We are using that. You can sub in cilantro or parsley or spinach. I've 100% tried all three of those. They obviously are different flavors, but it's so tasty. But for this recipe, we are switching our pine nuts out to almonds simply because, well, I had almonds and we didn't have pine nuts and we had a lot of basil in the refrigerator and we needed to come up with a recipe. So bam, here we are making the pesto. So in our Vitamix, if you have a recipe that tells you to oh wait, hold on. This is really important. We're drinking wine. This is Monte d'Oro. We love them in our house. We are wine club members and have been for a lot of years. Thank you, Monte d'Oro. You make an amazing bottle of wine. This is Sauvignon Blanc 2019, part of, I don't know if this was one of my shipments or one of the white wines that we got. We bought a bunch of white wines, one of them. Anyway, they're coming from California and they make an awesome product, and Wesley's running our camera. So Wesley, cheers to you and to all of you tuning in. Thank you guys so much. You can't make pesto, as Luis would say. Angels would be crying if you're making pesto without a glass of wine. So here's to you guys. All right. Let's get this started. I'm gonna put my wine right here so it's within reach. And it really doesn't matter the order that you load everything into your Vitamix, but I'm just going to go ahead and start with the almonds. Pop those right in there. We're going to add in, I'll move this up here so you can see, our 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. We prefer the cold pressed olive oil. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I like a lot of garlic, so we are doing 2 teaspoons of garlic. This is the pre-cut, thank you Costco, version. Oh my gosh, this garlic smells so good. I like a lot of garlic, so we are doing 2 teaspoons. Popping that right in there. There we are. This is chopped garlic. We keep it in the refrigerator. Of course, use fresh cloves if you would like, but this makes it super easy, and I really kind of like garlic on so many things. It's so easy to just grab a teaspoon and toss it in your eggs into the pan in the morning when you're sauteing up some eggs. Super great and tasty. We're going to do, it's about a 1/4 cup, probably a little bit more because I didn't exactly measure, of Parmesan cheese. And again, you're using your Vitamix, so you don't really need to do this in advance. Yes, I do love the cheese. Pop that in there. Now, I'm gonna add the basil last because we're gonna get this going first. So, let's pop our lid on here. We have our Vitamix on. And let's just get everything kind of moving and jiving in there. You can see the cheese kind of dancing around and bopping around in there. As soon as everything kind of blends a little bit together and is broken up, that's when we're gonna go ahead and stop it and we'll add in our basil. That's looking pretty good to me. We're gonna grab our spatula here. These are A La Carte Cooking spatulas. They are on our website. If you need some spatulas, these are fabulous for your Vitamix. They are also fabulous for scooping out a bite of peanut butter. They're great for spreading. We use them for our butter that we keep on the counter. We do love that grass-fed butter. That's also a Costco buy. Man, we get a lot of things from Costco. You hear that, Costco? We're open for endorsements. All right, in goes our basil. This is fresh basil. I just love it. So tasty.
Did you like push the basil in there? Is it like lightly in there? Or?
This is pretty, I want to say pretty firmly packed, but not jam-packed. But that is 2 cups of basil. I would say just kind of firmly press that into the cup when you're measuring that. It does look like it's more, but you know, just like a lettuce, anytime that you use that, it, you know, wilts down and cooks down pretty quick, and you want that real aromatic flavor. So we might have to use our tamper on this. Do use a tamper. Don't stick your spatula in there when that's running. This is gonna get chewed up. You don't wanna eat that. Okay, so, yes. Pop your tamper in here, and I'm gonna put it to about 4 and see where we're at with that. You can see the color is starting to change. Get our basil in there. And the reason I'm not doing a higher number is I don't want a complete puree, but I do want it mixed in. So let's just keep pushing our basil down in there. If it's too dry, then you add a little more olive oil in, which I used a lot of cheese, so we might add in a little bit more olive oil. But let's see where we're at, because this might be all right. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna go to 6.5 in speed. And before we add in more olive oil, we're gonna taste it and see where we're at. A little bit higher. That's looking really good. Okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna open this so you guys can see. Ooh, oh, I missed a couple of leaves, but I think it does look a little dry. I used a lot of cheese, and almonds can be drier than, say, pine nuts. So let's add in a little bit more olive oil. Let's see, do you wanna see as I'm pouring this in? I think just count to 3, probably about a tablespoon or so.
Is it like 1, 2, 3 or 1?
That's a good, probably it's more like 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's probably how I counted on the 1, 2, 3 there. Oh, but this is looking really good. And then I'm excited to show you guys what, look at that, just giving a little bit of mix. It's already coming together. Oh, you know what we forgot to add in? I forgot to add in our salt and our pepper. So let's do that real quick. I'm gonna, about 1/4. There we go, we're gonna use that. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, but I'm gonna use our salt cracker. And I'm kind of just eyeballing it. We are using Himalayan salt. I know I used to say, well, there's enough salt in the Parmesan. And everybody in my household would give me such a hard time about that. So add in the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And Himalayan salt's really great to use. You see that in there? That looks about right. And a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. I love fresh cracked pepper. You can always add more later too. Sip of wine, right? Why not? Monte d'Oro does such a good job. Okay, pop this on here. Oh yeah, that's moving. So much better already. And I'm gonna go a little bit higher there. Might need a little bit of a stir and a mix. Look at that. 6.5, there we go. Oh, I think this is perfect. Excellent. Okay, this is completely inappropriate, but we're gonna do it anyway because I'm gonna taste this. Oh my gosh. That is so good. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, here's what's really kind of great. For those of you that are gluten-free out there, a lot of times we do that in our household. We're using cauliflower fettuccine. It's so good. Again, we do find these at Costco. I feel like this is a Costco commercial. It's not, I promise. We do get a lot of great things from Costco. But these freeze up nicely. So you have seen us make homemade pasta. We do love homemade pasta, but it is a little bit of work. So if you are in a pinch on a weeknight and you need to make a quick dinner, this is easy to make in advance. This can be frozen in your freezer. The basil may turn a little bit on the brown side, but the flavor is still spot on. These freeze up nicely, so buy the 2-pack, cook one, freeze one, take this out of your freezer. Super easy to pop in. It cooks in like 3 minutes. Oh, it literally says 3 minutes, but literally 3 minutes. Super great, and then you can serve it with a salad. We're gonna toast some pine nuts and serve that on top. So you do get the pine nuts in there, but we made a more economical pesto using the almonds. So that is a little bit more budget friendly. We will show you the finished product. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next Sunday, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. As Wesley would tell you, smash that like, hit the subscribe, do share with your friends and family. We do love the support. Thank you guys so much. See you soon.